if it actually worked, but come on, YouTube, come on through with the live notification. Okay. Send out the "We Are Live" notices everywhere. We're working on today. We're going to be working on rebuilding the bed on my 2.4 with parts from Fabrico. Just sending out the notification on Twit at least, where still plenty of people exist. How's everybody's music? Sorry, I forgot to turn down the music. We are live. Hi, welcome. A minute of music, but we are live now. So, it would not be my stream if it went smoothly from the get-go, you know? Training AI. What are you working on, Nomad? Let's drop a Discord notification. Stream announcements. Boop. Publish. Cool. Discord notification done. Support box for Positron. That makes sense. That makes sense. So, primary concern for today is the tea wasn't ready. You are not wrong. That is one of the reasons I was a moment or two late. Is I was making tea. That is accurate. Just G, welcome in. Yeah, making tea. So in an LDO cup today, I couldn't find, I don't know where a clean gloop mug is. So evening, welcome in 3D Medic Vince. So you're gonna get to watch me struggle today because I've got to get this bed heater off of here. My 2.4, Aaron, welcome in. My 2.4 has had this, the entire time I've run it, has had this 250 millimeter bed heater on it, or 230 millimeter. It's literally for an Ender 3. It has bed leveling screws. Tor, welcome in. 235, yeah, 235 bed. So a 230 glue gun, don't have it. So I don't have any of that. So we're gonna find out how well this goes. Trying to peel this darn thing off of here. It's baked itself on there for hundreds or 1,000 hours now. Over 1,000 hours. I need to get that off, and we're gonna be replacing it with an edge-to-edge heater from Fabrico. So Hector sent over a edge-to-edge bed heater that we're going to be putting on this thing so we can get a nice consistent bed temperature all the way across here like we should have had from the beginning. So first stream, pure pain. Yeah, pure pain is what the stream is going to be, but it is what it is. Because I also need, I showed this in the very beginning, like maybe the very first stream. Got a Honey Badger build plate on here, which I'm going to, Hector sent a couple of those over too. Going to be continuing to reuse those. But this is destroyed underneath. The magnet is totally screwed. Because somewhere along the line, I started the print without the build sheet on here. And we got a beautiful embed of whatever it was I was printing at the time. Actually, if I look at that enough, it's Trident parts. That's totally Trident Z-axis parts. That shape right there, that's the trim piece that goes on the bottom side of the Trident part. I can see that. And that's a Z-axis arm. Yep, that's exactly what those are. Trim pieces, Z-axis arm, and I think the other two Z-axis arms. So, that was with Trident parts for the Trident build that we're going to get back to soon-ish. TM. Soon-ish. So, yeah. Heat gun, putty knife, gloves needed for tonight's festivities. Yeah, I think you're probably right about that. And some acetone probably to get the glue off. So, got the new edge-to-edge bed heater. I've got a new high-temp magnet. It's supposed to hold up to higher temperatures for longer times. Both from Fabrico. Thank you, Hector. And depending on how well this goes, we're going to be working on building a Reaper toolhead. Color me surprised seeing you use the mic the company I work for makes on your computer setup. Such an honor. What, the beacon? My beacon mic? Or is that what you're talking about? I don't know. Ah, beacon. Yeah, I love that thing. Rad company. Yeah, no, for my voiceover mic, for my desk mic, I love that thing. So awesome. Cool. Welcome in. Am I better now? Yeah. I mean, my illness has pretty much passed at this point. So yay. Little bit of like maybe seasonal allergy stuff still lingering on. I don't know, but for the most part, better. Yeah. So cool. All right. I guess we're gonna start with the heater. I think start with getting the heater off of this darn thing. Oh, and yes, I did say that. I might as well show you quick if we have time for it. I'm gonna work on assembling the. Let me get it set up real quick. Bloop. Whoa. Fusion has been so slow for me the last couple of days. You know what it is? I've got a VZBot CAD file open, and that file is like bogging down my computer. This computer, I like this thing, but it is big full printer projects. It's not quite powerful enough for. So, good evening, Bob. Just G, how are the doggos? Doggos are excellent. Yeah, doggos are good. The Ruby came home from Philadelphia yesterday. She was back in Philly tattooing. She just got home, so they're hanging out with her. I'd have Nori here to say hi to everybody, but she's stuck to her mother right now, glued to her, one could say. I do all the tech support calls to help people with EQ. Cool. It's always cool seeing content creators who watch use your gear. Awesome. Yeah, Beacon sent me that mic. That and a Mix Create. They sent me that mic and a Mix Create like a year or so ago, and I love that thing. I really do. The Mix Create I don't have a lot of use for in my work, but yeah. Killer Prince, welcome in. Hello. Do you have any printing related tattoos? No, I haven't bothered to get any printing related tattoos. I haven't gotten tattooed, I think, since I got into 3D printing. It's been a long time since I've been tattooed last. All right, bright light coming in. So if we get a chance, we'll probably work on assembling a Reaper toolhead. So I put this design together last week and printed up the parts. I started thinking about maybe it's time to ditch the stealth burner on this build. There's a few things about the way the stealth burners come together that I haven't loved. So I'm kind of debating switching up to Reaper. The biggest problem is that I don't want to lose any build volume, and there's potential that Reaper could lose me a bit of build volume. No, hot end will stick with Beacon, and actually, I don't have it pulled in here right now, I don't think. No, but this is Next G, so the same hot end I'm running right now in the stealth burner. The Next G with the ultra high flow extension on it. So ultra high flow extension on the Next G, but I remixed this. Reaper has a Next G option, but the Reaper Next G option uses, I think I still have them in here. I think you lose some build volume on X. Yeah, that's my concern. So here, where is it? I know I have them in here. Where did I put them? Volcano ducts. Boop. Ah, they're a little high up there. Let me move them down. Move. Error. There. Yeah, so the Next G version uses volcano ducts, which are, if I hide this real quick, you can see a fair bit longer. And just like the stealth burner, I was able to remix this to eliminate that. And I remixed the design so that it can use the Next G with the ultra high flow hot end on the standard duct length, which actually, versus a stealth burner, I compared the two. I don't have it in here right now, but I did compare the two. Versus a stealth burner, I would gain 4 millimeters of Z-axis build volume. So I have to figure it out. I don't want to lose any X or Y axis build volume. That's more important to me than Z axis, but we'll see. I don't know. The biggest question for me is you can lose build volume with designs like this with standard Voron parts, but I have the Chaotic Lab CNC parts. I don't know if that gains me any space. Don't know. We'll find out at some point. But for right now, let's mess with this. And we'll bench assemble the Reaper if we do get to that. We're probably not gonna put it on the machine. Unlikely, maybe, but unlikely. So I've got to get this bed heater off of here. So I got to get the fuse off. This looks cooler. It does look really cool. I think Reaper is a sick looking toolhead. I'll give it that, absolutely. And additional part cooling. Also, I'd be running a wristwatch G2. So still the Galileo 2 extruder, but the variant, the standalone variant with a built-in filament sensor that Hardk remixed. All right, got the bed fuse released here. I'm gonna adjust that camera angle real quick. Okay, get a better view on this. And then we get to start peeling. My top bed thermistor, which you'll see a little bit more later. G2 kits are sold out everywhere again. Oh, that's unfortunate. Thankfully, I got a couple from LDO right when I started this project. So yay, thank you LDO Motors. But actually, I'm out of them. So we're actually gonna be robbing the one from, this is the extruder off of, dang it. This is the extruder from the Voron build, the Voron Velta that I haven't gotten back to. This is the extruder for that. So we'll be robbing parts out of this to put it together. The wristwatch G2 off of that. Well, this is starting to come up okay. A lot of adhesive left behind for sure, but I'm just using a pair of, I'm not going to be reusing this bed heater for anything. So I'm not worried about damaging it. So I'm just using a pair of side cutters as a starter to get this going. I'll probably throw this bed heater in a drawer and maybe give it a shot at some point if I ever have a real strong need. I hate to throw it away, but I know I won't really have a use for it. Here we go. Well, it's coming off easier than I expected, honestly. Ugh. Now, the adhesive underneath that's still on there, that's probably going to be a bear. That's probably going to be a bear. Turn the music back up a little bit. YouTube notifications are such crap. At least this week, I'm only 10 minutes late. Well, welcome in. Welcome in, Joseph. YouTube is that way. It doesn't help that I also drop notifications 5 seconds before I go live. I don't have any goo off. That's the problem. We're probably gonna have to use acetone and try and see if that'll work. Is the G2 a good idea in a Bowden setup since it doesn't have dual gear? Sure. The G2 grips very well. It has a larger gear with a large contact patch. A slightly larger contact patch. It's not a huge gear. Nothing like the Extruder from Prusa. It kind of shows the point that you don't need dual drive gears to produce good grip on filament. That's pretty much what the Extruder and the Galileo 2 have shown us in recent history. So, just little bit by little bit, pulling this the heck up. There we go. Jamming it into my stomach, so I'm having a hard time speaking while I do. Maybe a heat gun would help. Yeah, I just don't know if it's going to help with the adhesive. Also, because this is a silicone bed heater, it'll I would imagine it will insulate against that, you know? This is coming. I mean, we're halfway off. Halfway off. Interesting to see where it didn't adhere as well. Here's a fun fact for you. I have another machine I have to do this on. And that one I have to reuse the bed heater. That would be the Rat Rig VCore 4 500. This is a 235 millimeter bed. A 500 millimeter bed is going to be a blast. I'm more than tempted to just get another freaking bed heater, but they're so expensive because it's such a large bed. My G2 gives me the most consistent extrusion of any of my other printers. Yeah, I have found it to be a very consistent extruder. And that's what you're getting when you don't have to worry about two different gears interacting with one another and gripping filament in different ways. For an Ender 3, it's probably not the best glue to begin with. Yeah, this was a super cheap, like Amazon special, no-name 110 bed heater for an Ender 3. It's just when I built my 2.4 during the pandemic, when it was really hard to get parts. So what's wrong with this heater? It's a 235 millimeter heater on a 300 millimeter bed. So would love to see extra detail on how you mount the bed, have the same style, but don't have the find the documentation lacking. I just follow the documentation, but we can see about getting to that. For anybody wondering, put the heater on top of it. Kinematic bed mounting uses the leaf springs at three corners and the balls to not solidly mount the bed. Yeah. Hey, okay, there's the heater off. Now we got to get the glue off. Let me get this fuse out of my way. The fuse out of my way. Why is that the wrong size? What size are you? Huh, weird. The screw has a 2 millimeter head, but it's not a button head. It's a whatever. Okay. Get that fuse out of the way for now. And I'll do the same for this, what was the ground that I cut off. I got to rerun a new ground to this. Screw side. Trash that. All right. This feels like it's going to be a bear. Here is where a heat gun. I'm going to start with a heat gun, but this aluminum is going to sink so much of the heat away trying to do that. I have a silicone mat around here so I could put. Of course, my desk is a disaster. I've been putting off cleaning all week. I'm going to clear space and put down a silicone mat so I can put acetone, yeah. So I can use acetone on this and not get it all over my workbench. Yeah. Okay. Let me find that silicone mat that I know is here. And I forgot to grab. Oh, I see it. I see it. I didn't think to grab before stream is what I should say. And I gotta grab the acetone right back. Okay, acetone acquired, silicone mat acquired. All right. Silicone mat from Wham Bam. Forgot this was a Wham Bam mat. Wham Bam, thank you, Wham Bam. All right. Silicone mat to act as a bit of a catch tray here. Some acetone in the least functional container I have for it. But I just keep forgetting I want to set up a smaller bottle setup for this, and I just never get around to it. Oh, my voice is definitely strained after Sunday. I don't know why. Okay. Just gonna get this wet for now. Let it kind of soak a minute. Let it soak for a minute. Soak that acetone into this. If it's going to do anything, I have no idea, but we're going to find out. No idea. And maybe it'll have a chance to get in that in the edges of the magnet too. So we're going to have to then flip this over and get the magnet off. I think we'll do all the cleaning before we move on to the installation of new stuff. That doesn't look like a Reaper. Nope, not yet. We got a bed to fix first, or overhaul. Acetone on my fingers. Pull up my freaking sweater. All right, where's the scraper? Ah, crap, I pulled it out of here. Poured it into an amber bottle that made a world of a difference. You know, I'm used to, like, shops I used to work at, we would keep it in, you know, dedicated containers, like little squeeze bottles. The squeeze bottles with a straw that comes out of them, I would keep one with acetone and one with thinner. Actually, I kept a spray bottle of acetone. Oh yeah, this is very much working. Razor blade, just a simple freaking construction razor blade. Yeah, new Fabrico edge-to-edge honey badger heater going on this thing. Finally getting rid of the Ender 3 bed heater I've had on it since day one. Oh yeah, acetone is very much doing the trick. Very much doing the trick. Good. Still a bunch of goo, but getting the bulk of it very quickly. Wife's B-Day. Happy birthday to her. Have a good one, Aaron. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you for stopping by. An Ender 3 bed, yeah. I built this machine during the pandemic, and bed heaters were hard to come by at the moment I was getting to that point in the build. So I used what I had, which was just an Ender 3 110 volt bed heater. And it's been there for over 1,000 hours. And it's funny, I saw recently somewhere, I forget what I was doing, but I was on the Voron Discord and I searched for my own name. I was trying to find something I had posted or whatever. And I saw somebody who used me as a reference for, like, talking about, they were talking about being able to print like edge to edge on a bed and not having warping on a Voron. They were like, look, Mandic did it. And they showed one of the big prints I did in a video. And it was just funny because I'm like, I had this tooty little bed heater underneath of the thing. And in reality, but it worked. And I was still getting like 300mm bed prints out of it. Bearded Bucket coming in with the gifted memberships. Thank you, Bearded Bucket, which means Nathan Chu, Loss Inc., Brent Ferguson, Chris Ramsey, and Projects in Dad's Garage got memberships thanks to Bearded Bucket. I ended up using on your Mellow VZ235. We got one from BZ. Yeah, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. I have a 120mm heat pad on my 210 switch wire conversion. It works fine. I mean, yeah, like this worked perfectly fine. While I had this apart doing a rebuild, why not? You know, 'tis the time. Okay, that worked really well, but as the acetone evaporated, I kind of reached a point where it's not working. So I got to keep acetoning it as I go, apparently. So a little more acetone coming in. Should probably be wearing a respirator. Do as I say, not as I do. Do as I say, not as I do. Yeah, if nothing else, it'll help the bed. The edge-to-edge heater should help the bed stabilize. I also am very, very... Jake, welcome in. Yes, hi, Jake. I didn't actually say hi. Yes. I am terrible about... not terrible. I'm very good about baking my chamber. Thunder Keys, welcome in. I'm very good about baking my bed and my chamber for a pretty significant amount of time before I print. I usually, before I even open a slicer, I'll start a machine preheating to get the bed heater warming up so that I get a good consistent bed temperature. Also, there's another factor on this machine that we'll get to in a minute, but there's a very distinct factor about this machine, this bed in particular, that really means that I get good temperature results out of it. For ABS, yeah, totally. Well, I mean, reality is I mostly print ABS and ASA, so at least with this machine. And even then, I do that pretty consistently for PLA and PETG as well, because goo is just sticking to my fingers on this, even with the gloves. Yeah. Even with PLA, I do that because I want a good consistent bed temperature. I'm pretty good about running a hot bed when it comes to PLA to try and encourage it to stick. Any thoughts on ERCF versus Box Turtle? Box Turtle has a lot less complexity to it, in my opinion. No, not complexity. They both have their own complexities. I never got around to building an ERCF. I'm going to build a Box Turtle. That's my opinion. Do you run heat soak macros or just timeout clipper? I just timeout clipper. I'm too lazy. I just never bother. Forbidden bubblegum. Yes, it is. I just never bother to set up a preheat macro. I just go to the machine, use clipper screen, or go in through main sail and just heat it up. Trying the glacier sheets on the 300 or 350 size should be amazing for these size printers. Yeah, for PLA printing, it should be really interesting. I tried one. I haven't gotten around to trying any of the like Glacier or Cryo or any of those Cryo Grip or whatever, because I don't run my bamboos much at all anymore. So I really haven't gotten around to it. And as such, but now that they're coming in other sizes, I'm really looking forward to trying them out. Ugh. Getting sticky. Gets stickier and stickier. Have you tried GF ABS? Yeah, I've used some glass fiber ABS. Very stiff material. I just don't... the hard part for me is a lot of stuff I do, I want specific colors. And these filled materials are a little harder to get in the colors that you might want. So I am also putting a new hot end in this. Fadis is sending over a new version, the new Next G, the Drop Effect Next G fiber. So the one that's meant to be used with fiber-filled materials. So we will be giving that a try too. I don't really care about the fiber-filled nature of a thing. I more care about that it comes with a PT1000 thermistor. All right, we're getting a lot of this goop off of here. Stipple that goop. All right, a little more, just a little more to get the bulk of this stuff off of here. Bamboo has some good GF ABS. I don't use bamboo filament, and I haven't in quite some time. I mostly use Polymaker, Protopasta, CookieCAD. You know, Polymaker has been a supporter of the channel for a while, so kind of hard to justify other filaments when I have an excellent filament brand that helps out the videos. If you switch from a stealth burner, will you go EBB 36? No, I will go Nighthawk 36. So still that same design, but the USB toolboard from LDO. So if I do go to Reaper, I will be running a Nighthawk 36. I have an old one that I never ran. It was for the Trident build. It's actually here on the bench now. I have a Nighthawk 36 here, but I've had the V1, whatever. But then I also have a couple of the new ones on the way. whenever they hit landfall or come into inventory. LDO is going to get me a couple of them. So, okay. This gloves, now I think we're at the point where it's going to be like rubbing the stuff off of here. So, I'm going to switch gloves because those are all gummed up. So is the razor blade. Yeah. I've had good luck with Ambrosia ASA CF. I need to work with Ambrosia filament more. I've got a handful of spools of it around here and I've not printed with any of them. I mean, with West 3D being literally around the corner, as close to around the corner as they're going to get for a 3D printer company, I really need to look at that more, but I should do a build with their materials. We'll see. I've got a blue. I have a blue 2.4 build coming up. Ooh. That could be fun. My heated chamber trident build, I could do in their like burnt titanium. I was intending it to be like an all black build, like everything just black. But that's an interesting one. Been sitting on Mandic really for so long waiting for the live to start. I'm sorry about that. I should drop the link on Twitter. Yeah, on the Mandic Labs channel. Let me drop, I didn't drop the link over there. Let me do that. Copy. Quote. Live. Posted. Cool. All the drama of Twitter today with the bamboo announcement. Yeah. That I created well, I didn't create it, they did, but sharing it out. Still printing parts for the Python AMS, printing for days. Yes, the last 2 parts are on the XL right now, actually. That's exactly what the XL is printing, the last 2 parts for the Python AMS. I had wanted to stream that today, but then the parts from Fabrico came in, so. What's the TLDR? Didn't read too much. With Bamboo, Bamboo is updating their network interface effectively. So it's locking out third-party slicers. Yeah, it's locking out network connection to third-party slicers. So Orca Slicer will no longer be able to send prints from Orca Slicer to the machine. You'll have to export G-code, then take that G-code and upload it via a third app, a new app they're calling Bamboo Connect. The network plugins will die. Yes, they're taking away the network plugins for security reasons. They're taking away the network plugins. So, yeah. Steve, welcome in. Welcome in, Steve. Member for 8 months now. Thank you very much. Also locking out the ability anything but read via MQTT. So that's going to lock out the if they're taking away any of the MQTT stuff, then the Panda Touch won't work anymore either. So yeah, I get it for security. I do get it for security. The thing is that Persia has Persia Connect, which is a secure cloud sending, like print sending system. And that works with Orca Slicer. They just have a local API key and a local password. So that's it. It works. So, I don't know. Don't know. We'll see what happens, but for now, I would recommend against updating the password. Firmware. Sorry, password. Firmware. Embrace, extend, extinguish. Yeah. All right. Yeah. These gloves that I have are excellent, but they get really, really bunched up in the box. The community got them to reverse 3-year support. We can reverse this. We'll see. I'm not holding my breath on that. I don't know if I hold my breath on that one. Okay. A little more acetone. Let's just keep on stinking it out in here. I wonder if I'm vapor smoothing any parts. Oh yeah. Yeah. This one, I can see some drops on it. From it was splashing a little bit. All right. Ah, I really need to get a better vessel for acetone. All right. let's see if paper towels will do the job. What are we talking about reversing? Talking about the new Bamboo security nonsense that they're going through, where they're taking away their network plugins, so Orca Slicer will no longer function with Bamboo Studio. Yeah, that is not working. Fans on the printers in the background sucking in acetone fumes. The enclosed one is printing ASA, but it's enclosed, so I doubt that. Any tutorials you recommend for Fusion? I honestly don't have any that I would recommend. I'm very self-taught when it comes to Fusion, in that I just started diving in, and what I always have done is dive in, and whenever I hit a hurdle where I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing here, I would look for an individual tutorial on the task of what I'm trying to achieve. So my method has been very blind leading the blind, unfortunately. So I'm not very well suited to provide input on that, I'm sorry to say. Print funnels out of PPS CF, yeah. Well, I gotta wait, because I don't really have any machines that I would print PPS CF on right now. And that's what I need this back up and running for. So, so the last little bit of this stuff is going to be a bear to get off of here. I'm going to try soaking just directly onto paper towel. Would brake clean work to get the residue off? Potentially. I don't have any. All I've got is... I might have lacquer thinner. No, I think I'm out of lacquer thinner. Found IPA to work better than acetone for the last bit of adhesive. Depends on what exact adhesive. Yeah. It's one of those where, like, I'm just rubbing this stuff around now. I got the bulk of it off. It's the bed heater adhesive. Ugh. Yeah. All right. Let's start mixing chemicals. Soak it down in IPA. Ugh. Heat gun work. Yeah, heat gun's probably a good idea. There is the argument that I shouldn't be using a heat gun over the chemicals, but let me try a little more of this because we've had good luck with this so far. I think the IPA is probably the better call. It's not dissolving as quickly as the acetone. The acetone did really good for getting the bulk of this, but the IPA feels like it's going to stick around for a second longer and work with me. Let the IPA evaporate first. Yeah. Give it a second. Oh yeah, this is working. This is doing good. It's not gumming up or drying out as quickly. The acetone worked great, but the acetone dried really fast, and then you just ended up with goop. Butane torch now. I do have a lighter. There's a lighter here somewhere. Which MMU would you rather on a Voron? ERCF or Box Turtle? I would say ERCF. No, I'm sorry, not ERCF. Box Turtle. I never got around to building an ERCF. The whole switching mechanism and the servos that engage each filament just seems way too small and finicky to me on the ERCF. And Box Turtle gets away from that. So Box Turtle is what I'm going to be building. I'm going to be building a Box Turtle at some point. Use your hot air station. Yeah, I got a heat gun right here. No gun wash. No, I do not. And the worst thing is I got rid of most chemicals before the move. There's no reason to drag a whole jug of lacquer thinner across the country and all that. Having built 2 ERCFs and about to build a Box Turtle, I vote Box Turtle. All right. There's Bearded Bucket coming in with the experienced opinion. Oh yeah, IPA is doing a good job. IPA is doing a darn good job here. Okay. Ah. It's the last little bit of this stuff. It's going to be the biggest bear. And pretty soon enclosed box turtle. Yeah, we're looking at that in that world with the the ability to soon TM. Yeah, the ability to enclose and probably heat and all that with the box turtle, or like, you know, filament dry in situ, like the Python AMS has. We will be building a Python AMS soon, maybe Sunday stream, not 100%. I'm finishing up printing the last parts of it right now. Hot box turtle. Literally right now, the last parts are printing on my Prusa XL, so. Or the box turtle. Funny that the XL is the one I decided to print the parts on, but hey, here we are. All right. I don't think I'm going to get a whole lot better than this. I'm going to give it one more good wipe down, but we're just about, I think, done. Enclosure add-on will not be cheap. Extrusions, panels, bridge door, poly dryers add up. Yeah, understandable. That is understandable. I was looking at, I started looking at, and I want to do it, but I started adding up what it's going to cost, and I'm like, oof, putting a top hat on my VZ bot build. Putting a top hat on my VZ bot build is going to be interesting. Spool of filament just fell off of there. It's almost like I need real filament storage in this space. All right. Some of the VZBot parts coming off the printer, off the Prusa. I've been running all the VZBot parts lately. Get them ready for that build coming up soon. Wayne Wenthin coming in as a lab intern. Thank you for becoming a channel member, Wayne. Appreciate it. Let's get this peeled. Nope. Do you need filament stories to come out and set you up? I don't need Courtney to belittle my filament storage. She will be a harsh mistress on that. I love Courtney very dearly, but probably opening myself up a little too much with that. No, I just need to drywall that wall, and I can put some freaking rep racks up there. But you know, getting to that time and all. Cool. Okay, build sheet cleaned off. Reheat that? Okay. So, yeah. I was looking at, for my VZBot build, I think I have it open? Do. I was looking at this top hat. Probably shouldn't open that, but whatever. Panels. Find part in browser. CAD is not very well sorted. CAD model is kind of garbage. Error. Let me find it real quick. This sick top hat I found for the VZ, but it's over the top, so I'm not looking forward to the build cost because it is literally uses gas struts. Also, I need to be able to find these gas struts because this person links to like a German store. So I need to be able to locate these in the US. So yeah, interested in it. I'd like to put it on the machine. We shall see. We shall see. But Harbor Freight, it's the problem is finding just the right size and strength because it doesn't need to be very strong to hold up a top hat on a printer, you know? I'm an electrical contractor. The only thing bugging me is that there's stuff in front of the electrical panel. Understandable. It's the space I have, so I don't love it either. I wish that panel wasn't there, but here it is. Also, the only things that are in front of the panel can be moved like 5 minutes. So yes, it's not necessarily ideal. Like you can't just quickly flip a breaker. It'd take a minute to get to flipping a breaker, but yeah. Probably have some in my garage. They have really small ones at Harbor Freight. All right, I'll look. Yeah, because it calls for like 8 Newton meter or 80 Newton meter strong ones, and that's very, very weak ones. So I don't know. I'll look into it. But also, I can build it without the gas struts. The gas struts are just cool. So I could build it without those. So we'll see. We'll see what I end up doing. Okay, a little more cleanup on this. Oh yeah, this is almost ready to stick. A little wipe down and this will be ready to stick the heater to the bottom. But then we got to get the magnet off the other side. So, wipe this down a little more. A little IPA. Oh yeah. This is the right call, Steve. Thank you. Acetone was just too aggressive for this, I think. Did the job, but who knows? It might have been the right call for the bulk work, and this is better for the littler stuff. I don't know, but it's working. Except for the last little gunky bits at the edges. Hard to get off the edge for some reason. For some reason, it's hard to get off the edge. I missed the talk. Have I missed the talk about the bamboo stuff? Yeah, we chatted about it a little bit. You kind of missed it. Yes. My wife used oven heater last time we had to get it off. Oven cleaner. Yeah, we don't have any oven cleaner. That's the hard part. I really need to restock more chemicals, but part of the problem is I don't have anywhere for chemicals to go yet because that's the one portion of the studio I really haven't touched yet is where that's going to be. So, yeah. It'll happen, hopefully soon. I need to find a sponsor for that project. Okay. That's good enough, I think. I think that's good enough. There's not like mounds of adhesive now. So, now it's time to get the magnet off the other side, which is going to be interesting. It definitely started to soak some acetone into it and like eat up some of what's on it. I think it was still filament stuck to the magnet. So it, anybody who hasn't seen the magnet, at some point I started a print without the build sheet on. That's Trident parts. That's a Trident Z-axis right there. So, okay, let's see how this is going to come off. Did the parts come off? Parts came off. Something was missing. Yeah, the parts largely came off. But there's still filament there, actually. Like, I can see there's a little bit of black here. That's from the acetone that went around it and got to it. This is definitely going to need a heat gun. You're right. This is going to need the heat gun, for sure. All right. Bake this thing in this corner over here. Get another glove on so I can hold that razor blade probably. Magnet was so crusty it came off in chunks. Oh boy. Hopefully this one comes off a little smoother. This was a good magnet. It was 3M magnet, but it's seen better days. All right. Whew, that's hot. All right. Starting. Keep on heating up because that's working like a charm. Mike V, hello, hello, welcome in. Oh yeah, this is going good. This is going good. Until you get to where the part's printed. You are not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm expecting this area to be a bit of a bear. That's how we do it for PPA and tint removal. That makes sense. Loosen up the adhesive. And this is what I used to do for... heating it up is what I did for removal of seam sealer. Though my favorite tool for seam sealer removal, the tool I adored for old seam sealer removal, is an induction tool. One of the induction heaters. Those things work great. Have you seen the Provoc 3D system? Expensive, but you never have to replace the magnet sheet again. What's that? Is that where it's got the embedded magnets? Thunder keys? Removing a magnet that's gone hard and brittle is not fun. Yeah, I'm happy that this one, despite running at over 100 degrees almost exclusively, this is doing solid. Don't keep going on that one. You might end up blending the platform with too much stress. Go for a different corner. It's an 8mm thick piece of aluminum. It would have to be a lot more than that to bend the platform, I would have to say, of cast aluminum. Oh, it's the heater pad that attaches the bottom with aluminum sheet. Yeah. I was thinking about that for an upcoming build. My heated chamber Trident build that I want to do. I was thinking about how I need to find one. If anybody knows of bed heaters that go over 150 degrees Celsius, please let me know. Embedded magnets do still play badly with Beacon, yes. That's why I was asking. So if anybody knows of bed heaters that go over 150 degrees Celsius, please let me know. And yeah. And yeah, I've thought about that, where for the higher temperature bed, I was thinking about creating some type of, it's the adhesive that's the problem at those temps mostly. That's where I was thinking about, like making aluminum straps that go underneath the bed heater, like a CNC laser cut platform piece that like holds it, sandwiches it to the bottom of the bed, was my idea. Yeah, magnets and heat don't play well. Yeah. So yeah, my idea was to make a sandwich plate that holds it. I think even Kinovo, I'm pretty sure on Kinovo's website they call out using a sandwich plate of some kind, but they don't really go into details. Do like LDO does on the newer V0 plates. Isn't that a PCB? All right. Actually, this is coming pretty well. Even without the heat, it's kind of just keeping rolling. Yeah, I want to try and find a little bit thicker. It's an additional layer bolts behind PCBs. I forget. It's been a minute since, I mean, it's only been a few months since I built one, but I forget already. I wish I could find somebody who could make that for me, is the problem, because it's going to be a 300mm build volume on a 350mm build plate. So it's going to be a 350 millimeter build plate with a 300-ish build volume. So how's the IDEX 22 bed heater? I think it's silicone. I don't know, but I will be reaching out to Vision Miner because I want to get a graphite plate from them. Or not graphite, carbon fiber. I want to get a carbon fiber build plate from them for the project. So I will be talking to them about it. And I was actually tempted to like pitch the idea to them about doing like a, you know, seeing how much effort it requires for me to build basically build a heated chamber machine for printing Peak, Ultim, you know, that kind of stuff, and how much work it requires of me to do that, and even with my experience, and then kind of just show like, or if you don't want to go through any of this trouble and you need a reliable machine day to day, you can just buy a 22 IDEX, you know, like, so, was a thought. I put a link in the chat. Bed is rated for 220. Thank you. Thank you, Thunder Keys. That would actually be a neat video. Yeah. I know they've done a video on their YouTube channel talking about it, but it was like an excerpt from their podcast. It wasn't like a full-on video. Provoc has the system. Yeah. That's the one I was trying to remember. Provoc 3D. Okay, cool. I will look at them. I'll look at their system. I will look at their system then. Yeah, because everything Kinovo has, they rate to 150, not 180. Yeah. Or not 200 or... yeah, I don't expect to need 200 degrees Celsius out of it. It's more so I want the headroom. Like, if I got a 150 degrees Celsius bed heater and I run it at 150 degrees all the time, I don't expect that to be a great idea. Versus if I had a 200 degree bed heater that I run at 150 all the time, okay, you know, like, I just want the headroom as much as anything, or the option to go hotter if I absolutely need to. At 200C, I'm starting to worry about like warping the bed just from the heat, even on a pretty thick bed, I would think. But I don't know. I got to figure out what I'm going to do for bed on it. I want to go 10 millimeter thick, but I don't think LDO, the LDO one, I don't think is going to be the right option for me. Because I also need, Steve 3D, welcome up, welcome in. I also need additional ears off the side of the bed for hold down, like wing nuts or something, to have clamps and hold the build sheet in place, because it's not going to be a magnet. You know, it's going to be aluminum right to carbon fiber. So have a custom bed milled at 12 mil. Yeah. I might try and reach out to Precise Printer Parts, the company that made this bed, and see if they could make me a custom bed for the project. At least with those additional ears that I'll need. But yeah, we'll see. But that's a lot of extra material, having the extra ears, you know? So, all right, we got to the point, we're into the print area, which is absolutely more brittle, where in the middle of the bed where we printed, it's definitely getting torn up a lot more. LPDF is making a new bed system with integrated heater element. Interesting. Would G10 work at those temps? I forget. I think I looked into it a little bit, and I don't think it's the greatest option at that point. Grab a slab of aluminum, take it to a machine shop. The problem is it needs to be MIC6 aluminum, and that gets so pricey so fast. And a shop like this, you know, like these bed manufacturers that are already making these beds, is going to get a better price on the material than I ever will, is really what it comes down to. So they need to use induction heating technology. Does induction heating work on aluminum? I forget. Collab with Jerry Rig Everything. He's got a lot of nice CNC equipment. Yeah? I'd have to catch the attention of Jerry Rig Everything. Seems like an interesting person, but I don't think we run in the same circles. I know a guy at an engine shop. I had them mill me 12 mil out of stock. Interesting. All right. Ugh. All right, we're coming. We're like 2/3 of the way there. Yeah, collabs are great ideas if you can actually get in the door with the person you want to collab with. Unfortunately, just a fact of life. Like 3/4 of the way done with this bed. This is going so much better than and the bed heater came off pretty well, but this is still going better. Oh. All right. Come on. There we go. Boom. There's the bed heater or magnet off. Done. Okay. And most of the adhesive came off with it. There's going to be an easy cleanup on this side. So, something I mentioned earlier, but I only alluded to. One of the things that I love about this bed is the top-mounted thermistor. So this is from Precise Printer Parts, and it's got a top-mounted thermistor slot in it, but I've got a NTC 100K in. So with the NTC 100K in the top, I have that set as my bed thermistor. So the heater on the underside has to heat all the way through the build plate to register onto this. As such, my build surface actually achieves print temperature way more accurately, I guess. It's hard to put. What I can tell you is I have a thermistor on the bottom and I have a thermistor on the top, and I've run this thing the whole time, and I have both of them visible in Clipper. I just have this one, the top one, set as the actual like control circuit in Clipper, so that's what the heater works off of, PID tunes off of. And the bottom thermistor that is on the silicone heater mat will be 20 to 30 degrees hotter than the build surface will be when it hits temp. So it's wild to compare the temperature difference between the two as to what the actual print surface is versus what the thermistor on the bottom side of the heater is registering. So yeah, I use that when I'm baking my bed. Of course, I've also got it, there's a glob of thermal paste in there. Do they eventually equalize, or there's always a difference? They do equalize, but there's always a difference, I find. Not a massive one. It takes a little while to equalize. They do equalize, but there's always like a 5 or so dc difference, I find. Yeah, so, but I mean, in all fairness, most temperature settings we're getting are set off of those bottom sensors anyway. So there's just a distinct conversation to be had about, like, do you need to raise your temperature 5 degrees, or should I be lowering my temperature 5 degrees? I don't know. Don't know. But yes, they do equalize definitely. It's not as big of a variation throughout the print like the whole time, but the heat up process, there is a very distinct difference, like when it achieves temperature on the top versus the bottom. All right, get this little bit of adhesive at the edges that didn't go, but most of it came off pretty nicely. And we can put the new magnet on. I got a new high temp magnet, one of the magnets supposed to sustain higher temperatures for longer from Fabrico. I'll probably put a little more thermal compound in there for the thermistor. Looks like it dried out just a little bit from, of course, its life. 1,000 hours of print time, understandable. Graviflex, I don't know what their magnet material is. Sorry to change the subject. Good entry-level Raspberry Pi to run with Marlin MKS board on TiVo. I'm a bit confused. Any? A Pi 3, a Pi 02W be plenty. You don't need a lot of horsepower to run Octoprint. So yeah, any basic Pi should handle the job, no problem. Any basic pie should handle the job. All right. This adhesive is just a little more stubborn than what did stick behind. Yeah, the IPA is not doing as good of a job on this side. I might have to switch to acetone. Where'd I put the acetone? I misplaced it on myself. Error. Oh, tap my feet. Next gen beds with induction heating and electromagnets. There we go. Now we're thinking with our futures. Now we're thinking of the space age. Gunk on the front of this bed. Anybody run a Leviathan stepper blower yet? What do you mean? Put a blower blowing across your stepper motor? Have you talked about Bamboo Lab? Yeah, we chatted about Bamboo Lab a little earlier. I'm going to wait and see what happens. What all is going to happen with their whole thing. We'll find out. Is this rusting? Looks like these screws might not be stainless. It's like rust or something around this screw. Yeah, like the mod for Octopus stepper blower. No. I haven't run a Leviathan yet. I've got a Leviathan in my Trident that's not done, and I have another 2.4 build coming up soon that I'm going to be running a Leviathan in. Yeah, likely from your carbon filter. I run the acid-free carbon, so that shouldn't be an issue. I know it can be, but I do run the like Nevermore official acid-free carbon. Wow. My kit came with it. Steppers get hot over 1 amp. Okay. Black hardware seems to rust like nothing. Well, it's just coated steel. That's why. Black hardware is generally just coated steel, so that makes sense. Carbon nanotube belts. Now we're really playing in the space age. This isn't. I don't think this is. Yeah, this hardware is not steel. I don't know what that is. It must not be rust. It's just gunk around the screw. Unless you got the fancy LDO screws. Yeah, hopefully we're getting the fancy LDO screws available soon. Seems like all the vendors want to get them. I'm very glad I kind of shouted that out. So, very glad I called that out, because it seems like we're going to be getting that option soon. All right. I'm going to throw a little bit of thermal compound in and around this heater element, or the thermistor, just to reinvigorate that. Looks like it probably like ran inside of that opening a little bit, like got a little more liquid as it got hot and flowed out. Where is it? It was on my bench. Was on my bench. Of course, my bench is an absolute disaster zone, so that's not shocking that I can't find it. I've only been asking Jason for that for 2 years. It just required a public call out, that's all. Well, here's a fresh tube. I don't know where the other tube is, but here's a fresh tube of thermal compound, so look at this. Whoa. All right. Got a little bit of thermal compound all around that thermistor just to like pack the area around it so it makes really good connection with the bed metal and even the underside of the magnet. This is Slice Engineering boron nitride paste. It's supposed to be good to, what, 500 C, I think they claim. It dries out over 200 C, but it still does its job. All right, and new magnet. Where did I put the new magnet? Here it is. New 3M magnet. It's one of the 468 MP with 200 MP adhesive or whatever. I don't know, the higher temp ones that that Fabrico has. They got that new light compound. Yeah, I'm really interested in checking out that new light, the new thinner stuff they have. It's good to like 350C. I don't know if it actually matters, but I put my bed on glass with weights on it overnight to get them perfectly flat. That's a good thought. Maybe I'll put it on the concrete overnight. It's not a terrible thought, except for I've got screws, stop screws in mine. So that kind of adds a little difficulty level there, but I could put an old build plate on it and just kind of let that make up a difference, or take off the screws. So, you're converting circular linear with steppers, hence the belts. With linear motors, you just go straight. Oh, talking about the stuff like the Magneto X. Okay, All right. All right, get this started in this corner just a little bit. I'm using my stopper screws to kind of give me a starting point to work from. I'll reach up in here and start. I got to peel more of the corner. Get it started. Okay. Get that started in that corner. Let's get it stuck so I can reach up in there and grab the flap. Come on. All right, let's start applying. I want to get this back good and flat against those stoppers so that as I go across here, I'm not getting any air bubbles and it's square to the bed. All right, it's looking good. Peel this a little more. Dulcifer, hello, hello. I drank 2 monsters on Tuesday and thought I was going to die. This is a 2-monster day for me. I'm really dragging today. It's definitely a day where like I have those days. I just have days where I am like less energetic than others. I slept pretty well last night, but just not getting the job done today. So it's a 2-monster day today. All right, I can see a little bubble there. All right, let's just sight across this. Looks pretty good. Sometimes you got to do it. Yep. All right. I wish I had one of those rollers. I need to get one of those like rollers for applying Dynamat. One of those rollers for like applying Dynamat would be good for this. All right, I don't see any glaring magnet like bubbles anywhere. I can't see. Sometimes if I overdo it when it comes to the trough where because I've used this brand of build plates multiple times on various builds. I quite like them and they all have that groove in the top for the thermistor. I have one of my V0, my Magneto, or not my Magneto, my Ender 5 Plus, the Mercury 1 has one, and if that thermistor sticks up at all, you can see it in the build plate, and it's not happening here, so glad to see that. Monday was a 2-monster day for me. Coworker dropped a pickup tailgate on my foot. Oof. Laminate roller. Yeah, it'd be good. A laminate roller would be good, yeah. Okay, cool. That looks pretty good to me. Sight across it. I don't see any glaring bubble spots. So I'm going to clean off this real quick, and then we can put the heater on. Clean up the silicone mat, or get rid of it, really. I could. I think I'll leave it for now, but I'll clean it up at least. Ugh. Now this gunk stuck, even stuck to the silicone mat. And the filament that's stuck in the middle where the print area was from the acetone's a little, eh. I'm out of here. Arc, have yourself a good one. Thank you for being here. Get this little bit of filament in the middle off this silicone. I got a flat surface to work with. I don't want to be impregnating the new magnet with the filament that just came off the other magnet right away. Scrape this. It's sticking to this pretty good. How do you feel about conversions like the Ender X1, XY conversion for a Ender 3? We're going to be, at some point we'll be doing one, an Ender NG on this channel. I mean, my Mercury 1, the pink machine back there, is a Mercury 1.1. That's an Ender 5 Plus converted to Core XY. So I like them. I don't think they honestly make a lot of sense. Like, if you're just using financially, budget-wise, they're not necessarily the best move versus just buying a kit for like a Voron or something where the kits have become so prevalent that the price gets down there, you know. But new logo, yes. Ruby made the channel a new logo. The old logo was always a Mandic Relay logo that was just kind of a holdover. So yes, but yes, we now actually have a dedicated Mandic Labs logo. For fun, it's awesome. For upgrade, not so much. Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. Like, I just enjoy building machines, so I'm really looking forward to it. Also, I'm going to take my original Ender 3, which is my very first 3D printer, and that's what I'm going to build the Ender NG with. So, like, for me, it's kind of nostalgic and or interesting to just keep going with the idea of keeping my very first machine going. I don't know. I'm kind of pained by the idea of converting it. I almost just want to leave it as a museum piece, but I'm going to convert it. At least if I convert it, I might actually use it. All right. All right. Where did I put the bed heater we're putting on? Here it is. Here's the bed heater it's actually going on. So the Fabrico edge-to-edge Honey Badger heater, which will cover significantly more of the bed surface. Though it sits on top of my leaf springs ever so little bit here for the kinematic bed mount, but is what it is. All right, I think we're ready to stick this. Pretty straightforward. I could clean this up a little better, I feel like, but I think it's good enough that it's not going to cause any spacing issues between this heater and the surface. I don't think it's going to cause an issue, so we're just going to go with it. I'll start at the front, work my way back. This side is less mission critical. Yeah, this just needs to adhere well so I don't get any hot spots. So yeah, I'm not quite as worried on this side as I was on the other. All right. All right. Matthew McConaughey up in here. You use a roller. I don't have one. I need to get one. A roller would be a great idea. We were just saying that. But I don't have one right now. That would be a good idea, but I don't have one. So I just got my hands. Currently, just have my hands. All right. Cool. All right. So much more bed surface actually accounted for with the bed heater now. And also, I think my old bed heater was a 500 watt. This is a 600 watt. Though I think I had even the 500 watt limited at power. Should 3D print one. Not a bad thought. I could. I don't know why I didn't think of that. It's a lot of force to be applying to a print though. PVC pipe cut off. Got some conduit right behind me actually. All right. Sight across this. I don't see any glaring bubbles. Bamboo and their latest security nonsense has me back to DIY. Yeah, I was already considering getting rid of my X1. I think I might end up doing that now. I don't know. Yet to be determined. All right. There is our edge-to-edge bed heater taking up so much more space on this bed. So should have much, hopefully, more consistent temperature across this bed. Hopefully. And last thing. Fabrico also sent over a handful of build surfaces for this, because my old one, I'm very hard on build plates. Because I'm impatient and I'm constantly running project after project. So I had a Fabrico Honey Badger build plate. It's got some bubbles in the PEI because I am very much a like print finished 10 seconds ago, pop that print off, get on the next one, which is not good for your PEI. I think Hector did send me a couple of smooth ones. P-Series. Or did he? P-Series, satin, textured. Oh, that was the heater. All right. No, so he sent me a textured, a smooth, and a satin. Definitely gonna give the satin a try. I tried the satin on the Cookie Cat Zero and I quite liked it. Quite liked the satin. It's the like between textured and smooth surface. So I don't know if this will pick up on camera, probably not. But it's definitely not textured heavily. It's a light texture and it's double-sided so I can abuse both sides of it. Ugh. And do you use glue or just print bed? I do use glue. I mostly use this bamboo liquid adhesive stuff. This is what I use on everything. I use this stuff. I very much like it. I use Vision Miner when I have like really troublesome materials. I use Vision Miner on really troublesome materials, but it adheres too well half the time. And here's the smooth, so a much smoother surface, but it's single-sided. Unfortunately, the smooth is single-sided. So, and then textured. I believe he sent textured too. So, I have options now. Which really I should probably order a couple more of the smooth plates or the satin. Yeah, there's textured. And regular textured PEI. I should probably order a couple extras and hold on to them for backups or switch things around. Does it compare to Magigoo? It's almost identical to Magigoo. This is their knockoff version of Magigoo. It's a couple dollars cheaper than Magigoo. I used Magigoo constantly. Then I tried out this bamboo stuff. It works just as well as Magigoo and it's cheaper. So, yep. I wish, what I really want, if anybody knows where I could find it, I would love to find. Magigoo makes, they have a professional kit where like for farms, and I could really use it, but it's ungodly expensive. Magigoo kit, I don't know, what do they call it? There it is. Oh, they actually have a cheaper option now. They didn't used to have this. It's not the same stuff, but Matter Hackers has this now. Go away. So there's this with this roller with a bottle for applying it. That's $100, not cheap by any means, but it's a lot more adhesive than you get in the regular kit. But where's the kit I'm thinking of? There it is. $300 frickin' for this kit. But it's a big bottle of the stuff, and it's got this spray bottle that attaches to this roller. So when you spray it, it applies all across this roller. And you can apply it, but I can't find this roller spray bottle combo anywhere. Because I'd gladly just get the spray bottle roller set up and I'll use their product, but $300 for this kit is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. The bottle is $100. Like the bottle of the glue, no, the bottle that comes with it is $85. So they're charging, the bottle that it comes with is $85. That means they are charging $225 for this little spray bottle kit. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So, try a printmaker roller. It does look like a printmaker roller, you're right. The roller itself does appear like a printmaker roller. So the roller is fine. I mean, the roller is $28. This glue bottle is $75. That's not bad, but I don't know. I really like Magic Goo, and the price on the regular stuff isn't bad. But this kit's just ridiculous. I have no idea. I have no idea what their deal is with that. But I can't find that spray bottle because it's not just a roller. It's a roller that the spray bottle attaches to. So like a you know, like those paint rollers for wall that have like the tube is filled with paint and it like excretes out onto the roller and it'll like, you know, evenly apply it across the roller. It's like that for their goo. So I'm not saying it's not worth something. If it was half the price, I'd consider it, but not $300. Not $300. Nope. I'll just keep on ruining tips on these damn things for that much. Nano for the win. I like Nano. It works really well. It just sticks too well. I have a really hard time removing prints with Nano. I mostly print ASA, and it really over sticks. Pressure roller, cheap to get on Amazon. See, I haven't been able to find any of those. I tried. They probably only had 10,000 units made or something. Yeah, I'm sure it's something like that. Seen others dilute it. Maybe diluted will work better, yeah. Have you tried hairspray? I don't have a lot of that. I tried it. I've never found particularly thrilled with it. As much as anything, I use this stuff more so as a release agent than I do an adhesion promoter. Because on a good build platform, I don't really need that much adhesion help except for like tiny details, you know? Where this really helps with the release. It helps with the release of prints afterwards, especially when I'm really impatient and I'm like popping a print off 5 seconds after it's finished, it helps. Sporeway 3-I-1 sprayer. Buying hairspray is going to get us some looks. Yes, it will. I'll DM you a link. Hit the Discord. There's a supplemental chat on Discord that we kind of use for this stuff, where you folks can send links. Let me grab the link real quick, or an invite link. Edit invite link, unlimited. Generate link, copy. Cool. There's a live supplemental chat where we created it specifically. Seriously, Discord, hidden use copy button. I used the copy button and you copied that. Discord. This happened to me last time too. Where's generate link, copy. You got it anyway. Yeah, Discord won't let me create invite links that copy anymore. I don't know why. Whatever. Thank you. You found it anyway. 3-I-1. If anybody wants to boost my Discord so we can get a permanent link, that would be excellent. I would appreciate it. Sprayer roller. Trying to look for that. Oh, well. Let me look at that. Yeah, that roller looks awesome. I'll order one of those. I'm gonna throw that in my cart right now. That roller will be great for just rolling, which I need for like these bed magnets and stuff. But the issue is that sprayer roller. But whatever, doesn't matter. 3-I-1. See, that's not coming up for me. That Sporeway, whatever you mentioned. Oh, whatever. Okay, I guess we got the bed together. I'm not really ready to put it in the machine yet. So I guess we're moving on. An hour and a half in stream. Let's move on to Reaper. Let's move on to a Reaper toolhead. Let's move on to a Reaper toolhead. That went smoother than I expected it to. Not mad about that. Not at all mad about that. I'm going to move the second camera angle to get a little closer to the bench. Try and get a better view for what we're about to do. Moving camera angles. Cool. Cool. Okay, I think we are ready to get to this. All right. That could be a little brighter. All right, that's better. Okay, so I've got the parts I printed for the start preheating my heat insert tool. I got the parts that I printed for the the Reaper toolhead. Keel came on as a lab intern. Thank you very much for becoming a channel member, Keel. It's appreciated. So, okay. Look for a glue spray roller. Cool. All right. Glue spray roller. There's a bucket style one. There's a bottle. Oh, there's a bottle one, like a wood glue applicator one. That's an interesting one. There's a few. Show my screen here. There's a few here. Some like that's not what we're looking for, but like this one looks interesting. This one or this one from Rockler. There's a local Rockler. Was before, not sure what happened. Who knows? Who knows? This one from Rockler looks promising. So, okay, there's a few options there. I'll have to look at that. We have a local Rockler here in Portland, so maybe it's an excuse for me to go pop over there and let's check it out. I never have. Heat inserts. Where'd I put them? Oh, behind me. Throw some heat inserts into this. So I've got for anybody who doesn't know, we talked about it earlier, but I'll just pop it up again for those who didn't see earlier. I put together a Reaper toolhead, moving away from Stealth Burner. I'm yet to decide. I just want to build this so I can kind of figure out whether or not I'm going to go to it or not. I don't know. Yet to be determined whether I'm actually going to do it. I'm heavily debating it because I'm going to be building another Voron 2.4 soon, which I'll be sticking with Stealth Burner on that because that's going to be my build for the box turtle. And I don't really necessarily want to have two machines with Stealth Burners. So I'm like, So yeah, here is the the Reaper Toolhead, dual 5015 part cooling fans, wristwatch G2 extruder on top. This is the dual filament sensor version from the Ant Head from Heart K. See some Mandic mods in there. Yeah, this is definitely, I tweaked this a fair bit. This is actually, there's a few changes in this. So I remixed it because the existing Reaper Toolhead for the next G hot end that I'm using, I believe there's no build, what about archetype? I believe there's no build volume loss. I'm considering that too. The only problem is that archetype is just confusing. It's the only reason I haven't really looked at archetype, is the whole archetype thing is just wicked confusing. Does Reaper support NF Crazy? Yes. Reaper does support NF Crazy. I think it's I think they do say it can get a little, no, that's another toolhead. Yeah, and it does support NF Crazy. Actually, there's whole, let me pull it up quick. There's a great configurator for this. I'll pull it up. For anybody who isn't familiar, let's just pull it up, take a quick look at it. The Reaper page. Reaper Toolhead. Boop. Just built a ant head. I built an ant head. I also built an ant head. I just built an ant head as well, also with a wristwatch G2. This is going to be for the salad fork 180 that I'm going to build eventually. I don't know. I was having a minute. I was having a minute where I was just like, I needed to scratch a brain itch, so I built this just to build it. And I don't have a machine for it yet, but I built it. So, okay, looking at the configurator. So here's the Reaper GitHub. I'll drop it in the chat real quick. Ah. My mouse is right at the edge of my mouse pad, so it didn't want to go up. Okay, Reaper configurator. So I'm running a tap, or not a tap setup. I'm running CNC gantry, or carriage. The CNC carriage with this setup does move the tool head forward 7 millimeters. Not ideal. But here's a whole bunch of hot ends that are available. So you pick what hot end you're using. So I thought the NF Crazy was an option. I don't see it here, actually. There's a Mosquito Magnum, Magnum Plus. There's got to be an NF Crazy option, but I'm running an XG, so you can select what one you're running. Then you select what extruder you're running. For me, it's the wristwatch G2. Taking a second to load. Then MGN 912, 6 millimeter belts, beacon probe. You can choose the grill type, grill, logos and such for the LED panel that's going to be on this thing. I haven't printed the LED panel yet, actually. I just remembered that. Darn. Are you going monolith? No. And that's where problems start to come in. And then you can download everything as a zip file. A zip file with all the STLs that you need for this particular build. I love this configurator. It's excellent. The only problem is I think that Reaper is going to lose me build volume. I love the way it looks. It seems solid, but I don't want to give up any build volume. So, Monolith is amazing. I'm running Chaotic Lab CNC components, so I can't run Monolith. I would have to totally change up all the parts. I'm not doing that. Maybe on another build, but not right now. So, this setup, I might lose build volume, and I'm not willing to lose build volume. I want to put it together, just kind of see what I'm thinking and figure it out, you know? See how I feel about it once it's together. Where was I at? So I did remix mine, the Reaper. I did remix it a bit. What I did to remix it is the next G files that come with the Reaper I already showed this earlier, but I'll show it again. Where is it? Volcano ducts. Boop. They use volcano length ducts, which are a little longer. I remixed it so it uses the standard length ducts. So you lose no, I won't lose any Z-axis build volume while still running the ultra high flow next G. So I did that. And then I did a bunch of fitment remixes for my own taste. Just, I wasn't in love with this. The one thing about Reaper is it's got a lot of like slip fit parts. So like, let's see here. So is that too dark? Looks a little dark to me. Okay, so here is the plate that the extruder mounts on. So extruder mounts here, then this mounts to your carriage plates. In my case, CNC components or the printed carriage plates for Reaper. Now, this is your hot end mount, and it has these little like dovetail joints that slip into the extruder mount part. Yeah, I'll line this up a little better. I missed one of the dovetails. So it dovetails into there. So it's locked in even though there's no screws in it right now. So that's nice. So it gets 4 screws that tie this together to that. And then your fan ducts have little like pegs on them, and there are receivers on the extruder or the hot end side that they slip into. So they lock into those. But you also kind of align this grill piece to it. Let's just get this thing assembled and you'll kind of see how it goes. But what are your thoughts on the new 5015 8500 RPM and 5015 wide mouse? Haven't tried any of them, so no idea. I ordered some 5015s for this. Don't know what RPM they're rated at, but they were Amazon specials, but they rate at 6 CFM. It was a surprisingly high CFM rating for what they are. It's just what I was able to get quickly. I'm out of 5015, so I had to order some anyway. The Berserker, there are the Vinder, do they call them? The Vinder ones. The Berserker 5015s, yeah. I didn't get those. I got these ones off of Amazon. It's $14 for a pair of them. So really good price. I have no idea if they're any good. I haven't run them at all. But they're rated, according to them, 6,000 RPM at 5.36 CFM. I think the Vinders are like 6 CFM, so a fair bit more, but I think they're also higher RPM. Yeah, the Reaper or the Vinder ones from, I'll drop those in chat too. The West 3D Vinder ones are 8,500 RPM at 6.1 CFM. So yeah, you're gonna push 0.7 per, more CFM. But the thing for me is, my stealth burner was okay for my needs. Sure, it wasn't the greatest part cooling. It's by no means the greatest cooling. But it was okay with a single 5015 in the duct of a stealth burner. If I go to dual 5015s, I'll be fine, I think the Rockler glue applicator set's what you're looking for. Cool, thank you, Peter. I will check that in the chat after. So yeah, I don't know, maybe the Vinders are a better call. Let's get this thing together and we'll figure out whether or not I'm gonna wanna run this at all. I'm gonna end up mocking it up on the machine to figure out if I'm really gonna lose build volume or not. I thought about the archetype toolhead too, like one of the archetype many options that we have with armchair engineering. Problem with me is, for me, is just confusion. The archetype ecosystem is just so poorly documented from the out face. You have to basically dive into all the files to figure out what, like, okay, do you want the Blackbird ducts or do you want the Mjolnir ducts? I don't know. Which ones are which? Well, download them and you'll figure it out. Like, there's no guide on Armchair as to what each one is. You'll lose some wheel volume on Y, it won't go off PEI in the rear, should be fine on X. Yeah, so I don't want to lose any on Y. I'm mostly concerned with, or interested in, will I still lose X-axis or Y-axis volume with the Chaotic Lab components is the question. So I have the exact same complaint about Archetype, yeah. Archetype needs a configurator or it needs a guide to tell you what things are. Because from the outside, all I get is the picture with the slight outlines and I don't know which one's which. I don't know. Okay. All that out of the way. Let's get to assembling this thing. I'm gonna put in some heat press inserts first. And a bunch of heat press inserts to put in this thing. Not a bunch, but a handful. I've got the extruder body for the wristwatch. Just label the damn pictures. Yep. Yeah. I understand having a pretty picture, but it sure would be nice if they did that. At least A4T released CAD. I'm happy about that. I can actually play around with A4T CAD now. Where did I put my 1, 2, 3 blocks? Jeez, my studio is just totally up in arms, like exploded. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna put a heat insert in this duct. Those little ducted jet fans are easy to use and move a lot of air. I don't know what you're talking about with ducted jet fans. Documentation is the most important part of any project. If no one can figure it out, it doesn't matter how good it is. Yep, agreed. Yep. Or, as much as anything, what annoys me about these things is those details of, like, no offense to these people, but I understand this stuff is a ton of work. I completely get it. Archetype has a configurator, but it doesn't explain the differences between ducts. Exactly. I was looking at the configurator before stream because I was thinking about Archetype. It just doesn't explain. So the biggest question in a lot of this stuff, like, okay, Reaper will supposedly lose me y-axis build volume. Why doesn't the front page of the Reaper config, like GitHub, say that? Like, there should be a quick, easy note in the specs of like what trade-offs exist in your project. Like, hey, this adds a great part cooling, but you're going to lose 5 millimeters on y-axis. Why do I have to go to a Discord, ask a question that's been asked 1,000 times before to figure that out? Just tell me. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I think 99% of those running Archetype are using Mjolnir, the 5015, Blackbird, 4010, or Breakneck CPAP. Thank you. I know I've looked into it and I found a breakdown before, but I can't find it again. So I don't know. I will look at it. Also, does Archetype work with the Vitali carriage, the CNC carriage? It's a question. Too much work for them. Documentation is a lot of work. It absolutely is. It is a lot of work. I 1000% get that. I have not open sourced multiple of my own projects for that exact reason. Or at least when I've released them, I've been like, you're on your own, you know? I get it. I do. It's just how it is. It doesn't change the fact that it's annoying, you know? Important question. Where's Jean? Jean's hanging out with Ruby. She's having some time with mom. She's getting some mom time. Ruby just got home from a trip, so everybody's hanging out with her. Dad's chopped liver right now. Dad is chopped liver right now. Think this is the right one? I made a change between these. I forget which is the one I actually wanted to use. Damn it. Oh well. Wasn't a big change. Trying to see if I can see the difference. This one looks a little better. Release the CAD. Who needs the docs? I mean, yeah. And I will look at that later. The CAD exists for the Archetype. So Archetype does have CAD. So I can look at that later, but I didn't have time before stream. I started looking at it again, considering this. I'm just not sure what direction to go. So I don't know. We'll see. Arm for the wristwatch. here. Wristwatch arm. Cut off this piece. There's a built-in support in this wristwatch piece you got to get out. It's a bit annoying. Cool. All right, that's out. There's a support in this like gear area. Analysis paralysis is the best part of builds. Yeah, it can be fun and annoying at the same time. So, new grill component. The grill doesn't get any heat inserts. The heat inserts are here. I need heat inserts in the side of this housing, and then a bunch in here. I printed the hot end mount and the extruder mount, main body, whatever you want to call it. I printed both of those in ASA-CF. Some Airy One ASA-CF I had that prints beautifully. Just to give it a little, maybe hint more rigidity, as there are pretty core components to this whole setup. As they are pretty core components, I went a little more rigid with the material choice. Couple more inserts. I do love this design. Is awesome. It is absolutely awesome. Like in so many ways, this design is really elegant. The way that the hot end housing kind of keys into the main body, as well as aligning screw holes while it does so. I see the elegance of this. It's a great idea, a great design concept. It's part, as much as anything, why I wanted to build it, whether I use it or not. I'm really tempted to have like a spot in the studio where I just like mount tool heads that I've built and never used or used to use, like my stealth burner, but I'm going to take off of this. It's just going to end up on a shelf or something. Like I want to build a stand to put them on. That's also why I want to build one. Yeah, it's an elegant design. It is. Very, just printed all the Reaper parts. Very impressed. Cool. For printed parts, what do you prefer, ASA CF or GF? And have you tried Voxelab? I haven't tried any Voxelab filament. I don't really know, but I found much of a difference between CF and GF in my use cases. You know, my use case is not everybody's though. I haven't found a significant difference. It is a little more rigid than traditional ASA, but I mostly use traditional ASA because it's plenty strong for my needs. I just wanted this, since I have a lot of CNC components, I wanted to aim for rigidity in my tool head. So that's why I went with CF for these parts. Just to try and get a little more rigid. Cool. All right, my extruder mount ones are in. I think all the heat inserts are in the main body and the hot end mount. I feel like I'm missing some in the extruder. Where's the extruder? Oh, here's the extruder body. That's where I'm missing them, is the extruder main body. Main body. I'm going to change out that lens in a second to a tighter one. Let me do that real quick. I'm going to change this lens out for one that'll get a closer view of what we're doing here. Where is the closer one? Oop, here it is. This one only zooms in so far. It's not far enough. All right. 1 second, just refocus. Oh yeah, that's better. Let me back this up a little bit now. This lens is so much closer, I can actually step away from what I'm doing. Cool. All right, that's better. Let's get a closer view. That's better. All right, now insert in here. Now I'm going to put a Reaper on the NG. Oh boy. Now we're getting weird. Now we're getting weird. Okay, heat inserts are in there. Inserts are in this. There's a space in this housing for a limit switch. So this actually had 2 limit switches, one down the bottom and one on the top for pre and post extruder gear sensors. I remixed this out to remove the lower one. I only need the top one for my purposes. So, and I also added this tab on the bottom, which locks into this one on the face. That focus point's a little forward there. It locks into this point on the main body to make the whole extruder assembly more rigid too here. So, yeah. All right. What am I missing? I feel like I'm missing something. I know I'm missing, there's supposed to be a logo piece and a diffuser that goes in here. There's this grill piece that goes in here. This gets glued in, I believe. Let me see if it just clips in or glues in, I forget. So this goes into here. That doesn't want to fit in there right. Am I doing it wrong? Probably. I think I need to shoehorn it a little bit. Nothing gets glued, even the logo and diffuser pieces? Oh, the instructions mention glue. I only read the instructions that mentioned glue, but that could be outdated and or just if your parts are a little too tight, you could glue them. Or a little loose, you could glue them, maybe, is what they were saying. This one is a tight fit. There's a clip to this side that isn't really clipping. I gotta go this way just a hair. Glue helps if the tolerances are too loose. Yeah, okay, cool. My tolerance here is too tight, if anything. If anything, mine's proven a little tight here. You know what? I should probably try and maybe grab this pair of pliers and loosen up this side clippy piece a little bit. Just a hair. Give it a little squeeze just to see if it moves. Yeah, the end of it there gave a little bit, which should help me seat it into place. I'm okay with it if it's got a little give to it. Oh yeah, that's helping. Yeah, cool. Boom, that's what I needed. All right, cool. There is the grill in. I just realized I didn't grab out a 3010 fan. Got to go to my OnlyFans drawer. My drawer of OnlyFans. And grab a 3010 fan. Projects in Dad's Garage, evening. Excuse me. There. Grab a fan. And a pair of... How much did it hurt to have your palm tattooed? a lot. A lot. Probably my most painful tattoo. Probably my most painful tattoo. Buttonheads. What tool board are you planning? Nighthawk 36. Nighthawk 36. If I do end up running this, it'll be with a Nighthawk. I am almost out of... I need M3 by 14s. Oh, that's 12. 14 looks right. I'm interested to see your input shapers when done. I had terrible input shapers with WWG2 dual sensor on Reaper. Once moved away to another toolhead, it was all fine. Interesting. This is not the revised Reaper, Nighthawk. This is the original one. I haven't run it yet, so I don't know if it's any good. I have the new ones on the way. So, you know, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So we shall see. We shall see. But I have the new ones. Yeah. Some new ones on the way. Revised Nighthawk. Yeah, the first revision of Nighthawk had issues. The Nighthawk 36 had issues. Some people had issues. I don't really know what the primary concerns or problems people had were, because I never ran it. But whatever. I know I have the new revision on the way. I spoke to Jason yesterday or the day before, and he's gonna get me a couple. So, all right. So it uses a 3010 fan for the part cooling or for hot end cooling. Shutdowns, I think. Yeah, I know there were a few changes. I think there were ground changes. There were a handful of changes. Grab the hot end here. This isn't the hot end I'm gonna run. I've got a couple. Ah, dang it. I forgot. I don't have another Dragon hot end. Damn it. Mine was DOA. Oh boy. Okay, I can't put it together with a hot end at the moment. Yay! Because the new Fadus hot end I have, well, the new Drop Effect hot end is held up in LA right now. I have a new one on the way, but it's in LA. Yay. They have much bigger things to worry about than my hot end in LA right now. So hopefully I'll get it soon, but hopefully everybody down there has a better start to their year. A better continuation of their year. All right. This gets M3 by 10s. Too bad it didn't fit an XG. Well, I have an XG. That's what I'm going to be running is NextG. NextG UHF. But all the NextGs, I have a couple of NextGs right here in this box, but they are beta units. They use this square frame. So I need the release version, the Dragon frame version. So I've only got the square frame versions. So yeah, I've got new ones on the way. Drop Effect Fadus. Unfortunately, Drop Effect went out of business. Sorry to see that happen. But Fadus is continuing to produce the products, and they sent over some, but I'm waiting on them. So they sent them, but I'll get them when I get them. All right. I'll just put it together without for now. I gotta wait on that anyway. So, all right. So this, as I said, it keys in to this main body, and then it gets M3 by 10 screws in the sides. M3 by 10 screws in the sides. That's such a good design. That is such a good design. It'd be a shame if I can't use this. Hope I can. All right, now the grill gets M3x8 or M3x6. Let me see. Let me check. 6 looks like plenty. Is that a 6 or an 8? I think it's an 8. Six looks like plenty. So it gets an M3x6. Let me grab a ball hex so I can get in there. Because I got to kind of go like this. There's a guide. I'm going to move this camera angle just a little bit, but there's a guide that goes onto one of the pegs. I'm also going to open up, brighten up a little bit. Oop. Try and get the focus a little better here. All right, that ought to do. All right, I'm going to brighten up one of these lights. Brighten up this light a little bit. Try and get a little more light on this situation. My other camera angle is going to be way overexposed now, but whatever. Okay, there we go. Cool. Now, this goes, come through this side here, or through this opening, which this is definitely a, like, you're going to have to pop this, the logo diffuser piece in and out to get this if you need to. Hopefully I won't need to, but there's definitely a bit of a like this then that kind of design factor when it comes to this. And I don't love that about it. I understand it, but I don't love it. All right. Next one, same thing, second verse, same as the first. Ah. One problem with ball hex sometimes is, you know, they pivot their way out of there. All right. Cool. Tighten that. Tighten that. All right. There is the grill with the ducts on it, the cooling ducts. And now this mounts to this main body. There are pegs here, right here, that slide into receiver slots on the extruder body. There are also clip mounts for LEDs. I'm not going to put them in right now. I have a stealth. It just takes stealth burner LEDs. 2 here for the nozzle lighting, and then 1 right here that lights up the logo diffuser that I forgot to print. And so I will put those in if I end up using this. As I said, I'm waiting on the hot end anyway, so I'm gonna have to rebuild this. All right, and looks like M3x8 maybe for the side screw. Yeah, that seems good. Another M3x8 in this side. Dodge Charger 440, welcome in. Very good looking tool head. Yes, it is. All right. God, that does look cool. It does look cool. All right, I need to put some heat press inserts into the cooling fans because the part cooling fans go into here, but then they get screwed in through this tab here that needs a heat insert to go into. And then I designed these are purely appearance pieces, but I designed these appearance pieces, one for here, just to give a finished off look to the fan. And then on the other side, it'll act as a grate over the fan, a fan grill. So, okay, I'm gonna put some heat press inserts into these. That's the wrong size. I kicked these containers over recently and they got all mixed up on me. Unfortunately. All right, this one gets 2 on this side. right. And then it gets one, this top piece, this top spot. The smell of nylon CF or glass fiber nylon, whatever this is. Stinky, stinky. Stinky, stinky. And the little crunchy feeling of the injection molded glass fiber. Yay. All right. Cool. Covers look restrictive. No, I don't think so. They've got 8mm openings, and they're a little oversized from the opening of the... Ah, damn it. Got stuck on that insert, and then it pulled. So they're a little oversized of the opening. The other thing you can't see is on the backside, it's stepped in about 0.4mm. So the fan can draw air. The fan opening can draw air through all of these hexes through only a 0.4mm gap and the recessed gap of the housing. So like over a full millimeter worth of air gap between the hub and the backside of this mesh. So it can pull air from all through here. I've designed more restrictive grills than this for fans, and it makes no difference. Can you wave a tool head? Yes, I will wave a tool head. It's not going to be 100% accurate. Of course, I will use a hot end. We'll weigh it with a hot end. It's not going to be 100% accurate, but we will check it. Yes. Okay. Let's put some screws in this. I'm going to use M3x6s on the outside for now. Are these STLs available to the public? These grills that I made, I literally just made like 2 hours ago, so no. But every other part of this tool head is on the Reaper. I linked it earlier in chat. I'll drop it in the description of the live stream later, after stream, since I forgot to do it before stream. But they are, the rest of the files are all pretty much the originals. You know, I did do my own remixes, and if I do end up using these, I'll release them, but haven't done so far. I don't release designs till I try them and ensure that they work the way I intend, because, well, I think fairly obvious reasons. All right. There's the appearance piece. This one's purely appearance. This one's a grill, you know, so. All right. This goes on here. A lot of people don't do that. Yeah. It's a pet peeve of mine when I see never printed, you know, I never printed, try at your own risk or whatever. That drives me nuts. Drives me nuts. Like, I understand. I've absolutely released designs that I wasn't able to test as much as I'd like, but I at least assembled them and printed them myself before I released them. Like my NF Crazy Volco Mosk hot end for the Stealth Burner. I never ran one on a machine, but I printed it and I assembled it, and it assembles just fine. So. Crowtech, hello. Dat Mammut, welcome, welcome. All right. So there's the bulk of there's the footprint of the the tool head, you know, the base footprint of it anyway. Now let's finish assembling the extruder, which means I got to disassemble this one so I can get the parts out of it. Disassemble this one so I can rob the parts from it. All right. Oh, that was loose. I only like mocked this up apparently. I mean, this build was never complete, so that's not surprising. I just didn't remember that. Come on. My screws are being stuck in there. There we go. All right. Cool. Take this bearing out of here. I'll have to put that in the other housing. I may end up using these parts, so I want to set them aside and make sure I don't damage them. Haven't decided if we're going to get back to the Voron Velter or not. Dot Mammut, thank you for the super chat. It's a good looking toolhead. Wow, thank you. I didn't design it, but thank you very much. I did pick the color scheme and remix it a bit, but I appreciate that all the same. Thank you for the super chat. All right, so we got the Galileo 2 planetary gearbox set up here, and the motor. It's going to go on to this new printed component, which is now the black ASA. How has the creator of this been? I've heard he's not in a good place as well. I have not spoken to them. I've only heard what you have heard, probably, that they're not doing very well. So if you're interested in this project, if you're interested in the Reaper toolhead at all, building one for yourself, checking it out, maybe consider supporting the creator of the project. Let me pin the Reaper in chat. I'll pin the link to it. Yeah, the last I heard, they were not in a good place in their personal life as well. Pinned. Okay, so, but I don't know. All right, so now, gotta put, I'm gonna take the bearing out of this piece. And now it goes into my new front housing. Now this front housing can accept a, this front housing can accept a filament runout sensor. It was designed by HeartK. It's the filament runout sensor version. It just takes a stainless steel ball that goes in there and a regular limit switch. I didn't assemble that yet. As I said, I'm not 100% if I'm going to use this, so I'm not going to go through the trouble of wiring all that up yet and all that. That'll be a later thing if I do decide to use this. So gear, extruder gear goes on. Make sure this lines up with the flat on the main shaft. Cool, it's lined up. Front housing on. Bam. All right, now I gotta run a couple of screws through this. I think it's a 25 mil. I want to say. No. 35? 35 looks pretty good. $35's okay. It's protruding a little bit from the back of here. Enough for like a threaded insert. Or not a threaded, a standoff, a threaded standoff, but probably 40 would be a little better. Have you watched Arcane? I haven't watched the second season yet. I loved the first season. I haven't gotten around to the second season yet. Haven't gotten around to it yet. 25 looks like it should work in this bottom one. Yeah, I know Selena, our niece, adored the second season. Had issues with it in some places, but enjoyed it for the most part. I haven't watched it yet to have that chat with her about it. Okay, so there's a bearing, the idler bearing, and the pin here that go into this tension arm. Bam. All right, there's that. And then this goes in here. I think this size screw will work. What size is this? 25. Looks like. I'm gonna use all stainless hardware. I don't have enough of the beautiful black nickel LDO stuff for this right now. So, one issue that does come up with this tool head, the Reaper tool head, is due to the big part cooling 5015 fans. Is why is that? Whatever. It'll seat in eventually. Printed part needs just a little more space in here, but it's going together. Why is this not seating in there? It's not catching the thread properly. Wrong length screw. Helga, welcome. Now I remixed this and I made the opening just a little bit tight around this washer that goes in here for the spring. I think I didn't account for the spring washer. I didn't account for the spring washer. I accounted for the spring. So it's just, I got to put a little more tension on it to tighten it for right now. Well, I don't know why it's not catching, but it's not catching. Push and tighten at the same time. There we go. It's too tight a tension, but it's fine for right now. I extended the arm on this a little bit so I can grip it a little bit for loose, like I can grab it. And I want to reprint this arm anyway. I printed it black initially. I want to print it in a different color, something that matches the body better anyway. So if I do use this, yeah, if I do use this, I know there's an older version of that idler that requires a longer screw. The dual sensor version I printed for Head Cutter had the older arm. Maybe I worked off the CAD to make this, so maybe I worked off the older one. So might be my fault. And or mixture of, dang it. I did forget something. So I need to remove the ducts, the fans off of here real quick. Because, well, I could do it without, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to take this off anyway. Not hard to do. Just take 2 screws out to remove the grill and the ducts. So here's a good showing. To remove the grill and the ducts, 2 side screws. And then just slip it forward. Boom. Now we're down to the base carriage, hot end carriage and all that. Okay. Route these wires behind here a little bit. So the extruder is going on top of this. And there's this front screw is what I realized I was going to have trouble accessing. Woo! I was almost dropping off the bench. The website has more info and a configurator if you want to point people there. Yeah, that is probably a good spot. I was just going to the direct, whatever. The link to the configurator is there on the GitHub, As much as anything, I was just looking to guide people to supporting the project whatever way they could. I need a non-button head screw here. There wasn't enough space in there. I didn't leave enough space for a button head. I need a socket head, which I put into a whole new container this week. M3x8 or M3x6? I want a 6 here or an 8? What did I do here? Why is this hole so big? This hole is way bigger than it should be. I don't know if I did that. I must have. I didn't put a shoulder point in this part. Whoops. Oh well. I'm going to put a washer behind that and put the button head in there that I was going to put in originally. At least it's not visible. So, see, this is the reason I don't release things until I've assembled them. Because I screwed up there. I missed that. It's like an M4 sized hole when it doesn't need to be. Cool. All right, now I put screws down through here. I forget if this is M3 or or M3 by 10 or 12 on this side. I think it's 12. All right. Oof, 12 only just grabs. I don't like the way that feels. So 14 will be better. I need to stock up on 14s though. Oh well. Got some. All right, now this side is shorter. Oh, the wire's pinched in there. Fan wire. Thought it looked like it was sitting up a little bit. Fan wire got pinched in there. Okay, there's that one getting tight. I should be aligning the filament feed gear and tightening the set screw on it, but again, this is a mock-up, so I'm not too worried about that. M3 by 10 looks like probably for this other side. 10 or 12? 10 looks good. Cool. Tighten. I'm going to loosen this front just a little bit so I can tighten these side screws in position. And then tighten that front one. That front one is just acting as like a stabilizer piece. Stabilizer screw. Just to give this all a little more rigidity. I know like Heart K with the ant head has an additional one back here. This one's on the front, so that's fine. Little support screw there. Okay, now the duct can go back on. Or the part cooling. All right. A couple side screws. It's amazing. Like, I can see why some folks have said that they might not have great input shaper grasp with this. If your slip fits aren't just right, you might get a little vibration between these parts. And I opened up the tolerances in these holes a little bit myself because they were just too darn tight for my machines. Whether my machines aren't calibrated well enough or whatever, when I tried to print them like the default STLs, it was just too tight of a fit for me. I wanted it to be a little more serviceable. And okay. There is without the diffuser. So it gets a diffuser and a logo in here. I'm going to use a Voron logo if I do use this. I had to file mine a little bit to get everything to fit. Yeah. So there it is. There is the Reaper toolhead. Only with the WWG2. Seems to be something with the mass. What were you using for a sensor? Were you using a board sensor back here? Were you using a beacon? I love that it can be assembled outside and then slipped in. I mean, yeah, for me since I'm running a CNC carriage, I'd have to remove the fan ducts to do that, which isn't a big deal, but yeah. We generally recommend filing to make it as tight as possible, able without need to fight it apart. Yeah, I got the tolerances dialed in to where I'm like, I can't feel any movement in here. And this one I can just wiggle. Yeah, I can wiggle the ducts at the bottom, but like, I have to try. I think it's going to be okay. Cartographer and EBB had bad graphs. EBB had a little better than Carto. Okay, interesting. So there is the assembly minus a hot end that didn't show up yet, but all right. That is the assembled Reaper. That is a damn good looking tool head. What hot end are you going with? A Next G, a Drop Effect Next G. Drop Effect Next G. Fiber, the Next G fiber version. So I'm just waiting on that to arrive. It's stuck, unfortunately, in LA right now. So they got much bigger things to deal with than my hot end. You're going to use CAN bus? No. I'm going to use a Nighthawk. Nighthawk 36. So, pre-melting all your filament. Yeah. So I will be running a Nighthawk 36. This is V1, so I don't know if I'm going to run this one or not, but mount back there. Always pick stylish tool. That's the most important part. Yeah, most important feature. I don't disagree. You know, as a content creator, I don't disagree. So that camera is now massively overexposed. All right. All right, all right, all right. I don't know, but I feel like swapping out. Well, we got 25 minutes. I'd have to clean my entire bench off to do it. I was tempted to mock this up in there and try to simulate and see how much build volume I might lose with the Chaotic Lab CNC parts, because that's the deciding factor in whether or not I actually run this. That's the deciding factor in whether or not I run this thing. Is if I'm going to lose any Y-axis build volume, I won't run it. Just for my needs, for my wants. That'll be a problem. So it's beautiful. I love the way this thing looks, absolutely. But who knows if I'm actually going to run it. Oh, we shall see. But get in the middle of the screen. What printer is it going in? A Voron 2.4 with Chaotic Lab CNC parts. So I think I would probably lose a few millimeters on Y. 5 to 10 millimeters, is it? Or not Y. Is it Y? Yeah, Y. I'll lose like 15, 20 in the front, won't I? I forget. You do have about 7 millimeters on Y. Okay. I know with the CNC mount, I was looking at it. With the CNC mount, I have a Vitali CNC carriage. This tool head puts the nozzle point 7 millimeters forward of 7.5 millimeters forward of a stock stealth burner location. Not ideal, but I can move my bed forward. My bed is on kinematic mounts. I could slide my bed forward and at least gain back a few millimeters. But I think the fans may hit the tensioners, might they not? That's the fix we found. Okay, I'm gonna give it a try. If it, I'll mock this up on there soon, and we shall see. When the new hot end comes in, maybe we'll swap out the stealth burner for this. Maybe it's not that big of a deal to swap it out. Just without the hot end in here, there's not much of a point. So, you know, yeah. If I can slide the bed forward and still get full volume, because I'm going to be running a fridge door front door, so I can have the hot end hang off the front of the bed a little bit, or out at the front extrusion, 10 millimeters or so without issue. So if I can get away with that between the kinematic bed mount and the fridge door, I might be able to gain back all my Y volume. If that's the case, I'm all about it. I just replaced Chaotic Lab ones with Vitali tensioners. Gets a little nutty on a Trident. I think it has to limit 10 on X and no loss on Y. Interesting. Okay. So, I don't know. But it's a damn good looking thing, that's for sure. It is a beautiful hot end. Or, well, tool head. So, it's a beautiful tool head. So, I'm looking forward to it. If it fits my needs, we'll run it. I just got to get that new hot end in so we can get it together and mock it up. Maybe we'll do that on a stream next week. I think next stream we'll probably do my last parts right now on the XL are the Python AMS. So the Python AMS build probably coming real soon. Question of the day, will it fit in Ender 3? There's someone doing that. Of course there is. Of course there is. Technically, AP put it in onto a modded switch wire already. Originally. Oh, okay. Hey, there you go. It's been on a switch wire. That is cool looking. That is cool. I dig it. I really dig it. I got to play around with that. I got to play around with this a lot more. We shall see. And if my input shaper graphs are no good, well, we'll revisit this. Who knows? It's why I build things, is to play with them, figure it out, see what they do for me, how they work. I hope this is going to work out well for me. If it does, awesome. If not, well, we'll make some changes and we'll figure out the next option. I think it has solid potential to be what I want and need, though. I remixed this part and the corners down here don't line up quite the way I intended them to. I should have radiused apart just a little more. But there it is. If this works, I will release the design because it's a standard duct length. As I mentioned earlier, this is a standard duct length with the Drop Effect Next G Ultra High Flow. So I will actually, if this works, if this does work in my machine for all of my constraints, I'll actually gain Z-axis build volume. When I did mock this up compared to a stock stealth burner, the nozzle height is actually 4 millimeters higher than stock stealth burner. So I'll actually gain 4 millimeters of Z-axis build volume just with this. So between this and the top hat that I put on there, it looks like a gas mask. It does. It looks like a Cyber Goth gas mask. And since my Voron 2.4 is named Cyber Voron, I'm not upset about that in the least. So that does not upset me. But yeah, between this and the top hat, I may actually gain some Z-axis build volume on the build. I was limited to something like 250 or 260 on Z before. I think like 265 maybe. Because of a kinematic bed mounting, I lost a little bit. So maybe I can get this thing up to like stock Voron 300, like 270, 275. We shall see. But I do believe that might be where we're wrapping it up for today, folks. Because we got the bed swapped over. We got the Reaper assembled, minus a hot end, unfortunately. But let's grab the bed. We got the bed old heater removed. The new heater put on there from Fabrico. Thank you to Fabrico for the edge-to-edge bed heater for the 300 millimeter bed and the new high temp magnet on the build surface. So I can run this thing at consistently higher temperatures now. I might put a higher temperature. I had 125 Celsius bed fuse in it. I might bump that up to like 140 now. I don't know. We'll see. I have some decisions to make there. If I could run like 125 consistent, that'd be nice for some higher, for like PPS, CF or something. Yeah. I appreciate the spotlight. Hope it all works out great for you. Thank you, Dr. Mercy. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, it's a gorgeous tool head. I fell in love with it when I saw it. I was just worried about the trade-offs, but it's looking solid. So we'll see. We'll see. Going to have to watch the entire stream again as the work got in the way, but I love the tool head. Looks magnificent. Awesome. Thank you, Jeff. All right, folks. Can't seem to find Fabrico. Yeah. You're spelling it wrong. That's why. Boop. Fabrico. I will update the I'll update the description of the live stream as soon as I wrap up with a link to the parts we use from Fabrico and the Reaper tool head as well. So, all right, folks, that's where we're gonna wrap it up for today. Thank you everybody for attending, for hanging out while we did all this annoying work with the bed and then the fun stuff with the tool head. So thank you very much, everybody, and I will catch you all in the next one. Unfortunately, none of the kids are here with me, so I don't have the animal outro we would usually have for a stream. But yeah, a couple quick announcements soon. The VZBot build is coming. VZ235 coming very soon. I've been printing parts for that pretty regularly. So VZ235 parts are getting printed here using Galaxy Black and Galaxy Red ASA for all of this. So it's turning out cool. I'm loving the way it's coming together. Actually, I hate red. I'm not loving the way the colors look. I hate red. But for a VZBot, it just makes sense. And I don't have a red machine, so whatever. And there's not a lot of printed parts on the VZBot, so. Were any of those parts printed through your nose? No, I only do that for charity. Where are you at on the rat rig? I haven't made it all the way through those videos yet. It's up and running. The rat rig is running, but not enclosed. Is that what's printing on the Mark IV? That is what's been printing on the Mark IV is VZBot parts, yes. The VZBot's been printing, parts for the VZBot have been printing on the Mark IV, yes. The rat rig is running, driving, no panels on it, still has the stock hot end. I haven't tuned it in well enough yet. I've run it for a handful of parts. I used it in a couple of projects. I just haven't really discussed it too much. because I want to get it enclosed. I've been hoping to get a video out about it, but at this rate, I probably won't get a video out about it until February. But I intend to do like a first impressions video on it. So yeah, VZ was a fun build. Can't wait to see your build. Awesome. I'm looking forward to building it. I am. Have you thought about doing IDEX? Yes, I really want to do IDEX on my rat rig. I just want to get, I want to get it done. I want to get it enclosed. Granted, now would probably be the time to do it while it's not enclosed. But here we are. I want to do IDEX on it. Haven't decided. I mean, I've decided I'm going to do IDEX. I just don't know when. For right now, I've got the enclosure kit to get on it. I've got a tube to put in it. So I want to put the tube in it. I want to put an enclosure on it so I can just use it for big projects. There's a couple of big things that I want to print around here, but having that machine dialed in and printing ASA would be excellent for. And right now I can't do that because it's not enclosed. So yeah. And what else did I want to do that? There's something else I want to do to that I haven't. Oh, a screen. I want to put a screen on it. I don't have a clipper screen on it right now. I really want to put a screen on it. That machine would be very, like, such a big machine, being able to walk over to it and like touch clipper screen stuff. It's a must in my opinion. For me, I love clipper screen. So yeah. Do you have a referral code for Fabrico? Nope. No, I don't have any referral code. Sorry, I don't have a discount code. I don't have an affiliate link. Hector just sends parts to help out with the projects that I work on. I happily support him. He's an excellent supporter of my channel, so I appreciate that. And yeah, I don't have anything else. So sorry, I don't have a discount and I don't have a affiliate link. I don't make anything from supporting them other than they support me with sending parts and such. So thank you to Hector from Fabrico. Love you. And yeah. I think that's where we're going to wrap it up. Yeah. Cool. That's it. What are your recommended upgrades or mods for the SV08? I didn't have a lot of time with the SV08. This touch screen that I did a video about, the touch screen with clipper screen, I'd recommend that. The stock screen I hate. Hector rocks. Yes, he does. Trying to support you, waiting to finish the vids before buying one. Cool. Just, if there's a place to put a note, tell Hector I sent you. Is the best thing I could say. Just tell Hector Mandic sent me or whatever. Like, I'm sure it wouldn't hurt for him to be understanding that people are coming to him because of me. So, yeah. Yeah, I didn't have much time with the SV08 because I had to move and I didn't want to move it with me. I gave it to Nomad, my the maintainer of the Positron team and my Discord moderator. So yeah. Eddie and a Triangle Labs V6 hot end for the SV06 makes a difference. Eddie, I could definitely see. I gotta put Eddie on something. You know what? I think I'm probably gonna put Eddie on my next Voron 2.4 build. I haven't played with Eddie yet. I would love a code just to say give you stuff even if I don't get a discount. I'll mention that to Hector. Just to let him know, like a code just to at the least say, hey, Alan sent me or whatever. Sure. I sit in a car for 12 hours a day. Your videos make it bearable. Enjoy your content. Thank you very much, Randy. I appreciate that. I'm glad to hear it. Thank you. Been thinking about Eddie. Already has the Micro Swiss. With the Micro Swiss, you probably have a solid setup. And with an Eddie, yeah, I mean, like Eddie current bed sensors are so nice. Like my rat rig, the rat rig VCore 4500 with the beacon on it, that thing bed levels faster than my Bamboo does with a 250 bed. And it's twice the bed size, you know, 500 millimeter, 510 by 510, and it levels in like 30 seconds, not even. So yeah, even doing like doing the triple screw level and then a full bed mesh, it's still fast. Voron Design Discord used to be super who cares about Clipper Screen for so long. I love Clipper Screen. I find it so useful. If nothing else, I love Clipper Screen for baby stepping is the #1 thing I love Clipper Screen for. If like I have sometimes I want to print, like I did it on these parts. I don't know if anybody did take note, probably did. I don't know if you can pick it up on camera or not. Like this is Hilbert curve all on the face of this. And like down here is Hilbert curve on the face of this. And I run a lighter, I run less Z offset so I can accentuate the gaps between the Hilbert curve on the first layer just because I love the way it looks. And dialing in that baby stepping that first layer is so much easier with Clipper Screen than it is via Mainsail. Even just standing there with my phone in Mainsail, it's easier with Clipper Screen. It just is. Unloading and loading filament, I find easier through Clipper Screen. What's Hilbert curve? It's a different infill pattern, but it's an infill pattern. I think I have a slicer pulled up with some here, actually. Well, I have the one that I printed this. Here, I'll show you real quick. Share screen. There's my picture. Hilbert curve is this infill pattern. It's where it or this fill pattern, where it squiggles around on itself a lot. It's just a fun looking pattern. The infill on this is Hilbert curve too, I think I did. Yeah, there it is. So this weird infill pattern, it's just doubles back on itself a lot. It's just a different type of fill pattern that I quite like the way it looks. So I love the way it looks. So I use it very often on first layers of parts that I want to look good, just because I think it looks good. That's it. I like the way it looks. Purely, I mean, there is an argument to be made. Now, the lighter Z offset negates this. There is an argument to be made that running a different infill pattern like Hilbert curve on the first layer can create a strength improvement because the layers above it are different infill, being lines or whatever. You're kind of creating strength by overlapping those lines with Hilbert curve. There's an argument to be made there. That's a whole thing that I don't really want to get into, but I can imagine the back and forth can make parts stronger. It actually has a second effect too. I never thought about this. The folks at Vision Miner clued me into this. I second look at Hilbert curve for first layers. Yeah. The folks at Vision Miner clued me into this, and I never thought about it, but it does make sense. I don't know how true it is in application, but they like Hilbert curve for infill because unlike rectilinear or even gyroid to a point, it doesn't have straight lines. It's not like a straight line running through your parts. So when your parts want to shrink along the printed line, because Hilbert curve makes so many turns, it doesn't shrink in a straight line the same way. So it can help to reduce part curling, supposedly. I have not tested that very deep. But when they run into parts that want to warp, that's one of the tricks that they use, the folks at Vision Miner, to help reduce warpage. It's exactly what I thought, yeah. So it's creating less of a stress that can pull the ends of something together. I haven't tested this in depth, but it's an intriguing concept that it's one of those things that makes sense in your head. Don't know if it makes sense in real world application. But the folks at Vision Miner are no dummies, so who knows? All right, folks, truly time to duck out. We're closing in on 3-hour mark, wrapped up the work 15, 20 minutes ago. So yeah, Hilbert curve will be the same as plywood, where the grain of each layer is turning 90 degrees to each other. Yeah. I mean, you're getting that to a point with typical solid infill. Solid infill is going to go, 90, 90, 90, 90. I like the idea of that first layer, and I use it on the top layer sometimes too for the same reason, in that it's going to create almost you're getting that 90, 90 from your solid infill, but then your Hilbert curve could help tie those layers together a little bit too. A 0.2 millimeter layer, how much is that really going to make a difference? I don't know. Now, I'd be really interested if every third layer, we could switch that. I'd be very curious to try that out. We got one straight line, and then Hilbert curve. One straight line, then Hilbert curve. If we could do something like that, I think that could be very interesting to strength. I'm going to talk to Stefan now that I mentioned that. That's something for Stefan to play with. I'm gonna go hit up Stefan. When do you usually live stream? I have 2 set days a week that I live stream. Thursdays, late afternoon, evening, Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. is generally stream time, but sometimes I go a little earlier in the day. So Thursdays are stream day, most typically, and Sunday mornings. Sunday mornings, 8, 9 p.m. a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I do Sunday morning streams so the folks in the EU and UK can catch streams a little bit easier. So yeah, put a support ticket into Orca Slicer. They may make it into an option for alternating infill. Budget technician, that's a solid call. pull request on that. It's a great idea. That is a great idea. So I'm gonna talk to, maybe I'll talk to Feversoft and Stefan. I think Stefan would be the one to truly test, because let's face it, if it doesn't make a difference, there's no point to integrating it into Slicer. But if it does make a difference, then there is a point. So, I mean, I could do it. Height range, you could use height range modifiers, like 0.2 millimeter height range modifiers, layer by layer. It could be done. Just annoying. I bet Stefan could probably write like a postscript or something to make it happen. That's over my head. So, all right, folks. Now it's truly time to call it done. I'm gonna go hang out with the doggos and the kids and Ruby now she's back home, and spend some time with the family. Thanks for coming around. Thanks for checking out the Reaper Toolhead build. The kills. Hey, it's the only kids we're ever having, so I'm gonna go spend some time with them. A 3-month-old puppy counts to me, damn it. That would take forever. Yeah, it would totally take forever to do it manually. It could be done, but it would take forever. Whatever. I've done worse things. I play with height range modifiers for various things fairly regularly, so whatever. Okay, truly, thank you all for coming around. Thanks for hanging out. I'm gonna prop this up and use this as my outro, I think. So I will catch you all in the next one. Sunday stream. Sunday morning we'll be streaming this Sunday morning. Probably do the Python AMS build, I think, on Sunday. But thank you for coming around. Thanks for hanging out, folks. See you in the next one.